Good morning, all. How are we? I had my concentration face on then, making sure everything was all hunky-dory and good to go. And we're here. How are we? It is Friday, or Fri-Weigh, the 29th of August. Last weekend of August 2025. We're here. We're here. We're all good. Everything's why is that so upcoming? I know it's all good. So I'm just making sure that the YouTube stream is on. Friday the 29th of August. Why do we call it Fri-Weigh? Because it's check-in day. It's when my clients check in. My clients check in every 2 weeks, and it's manic check-in day this morning. To be fair, about 20 people checked in yesterday, which is certainly eased this morning, but I have got a WhatsApp still like that. And I'm going on my holiday bobs in 3 hours and 45 minutes. So I've got 3 hours, 45 minutes to work through my check-ins. I also need to edit a YouTube video and get that up and running. And I'm also going to try and send off progress sheets for this week. Though, if you do not receive your progress sheet today, you will get it Thursday. It's going to be a little bit later. I'm going to try. That is my mission. So I'm on this live till 9:30. Then I've got to go and walk the dog. But the weather looks absolutely shocking. So I'm going to have to walk it because she goes to my mum's. My mum can't walk, so she's not going to get a walk for a few days. But I'm going to have to go walk the dog and then drop her off. And then I need a shower. I need to finish some packing. I need to and do all my work as well. It's fine, Neil. You'll get it done. I am taking my laptop with me. So, yes, I might just be sat in the airport doing this. I normally do work in the airport. It's a bit boring, isn't it? I love the airport. I do love it. The difference is, whereas I'm sat here drinking water, I'm working in the airport later, there's a very good chance there could be a pint next to me of beer or the water. But anyway, there we go. Let's do top 5 this morning on TikTok. Callum's in number 1, losing at number 2. Callum, see, I think this might be your first one for this week. He's here. Jane's in at number 3. Ryan's in number 4. And Jackie's in at number 5. Good morning, guys. Thank you very much for coming straight to live. And coming and saying hello. Anna, good morning. Mr. John Jackson, good morning. Gemma, morning. Kelly C. Amy Evans, good morning to you. Oh, I've got, when you have a bit of a white top on, you can't see the writing. Anyway. Dan, morning, mate. Morning. Debs, good morning. Steph, Chip away. Kirsty, Lauren, everyone's in. Holiday hat on. Actually, this isn't my holiday hat. But I don't know what my holiday hat is going to be. But this is actually kind of my weekend gym hat, if I'm being honest with you. Like when I'm not working, I know it sounds daft. When I'm not working, I don't wear my RLB stuff. Basically, I don't. What is it? What's the word? I don't know what to say. I don't wear like my branded stuff really. So this is actually my weekend gym hat. And as we're going on holiday today, the Real Lost Boss uniform, as it were, has been retired until next Thursday. And you know what? This is one of my favourite caps. And it literally, I think I got it off ASOS for about £8. It was on sale on ASOS for about £8. I absolutely love it. Anyway, let me scan up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Laura, morning. This is the last one. I'll catch now. I'm back to work Monday. Have a great holiday. Laura, thank you very much. Bex, hey, good morning. Callum's in first and last. Yeah, there's no more for this week. You've nailed the right one. Paula, good morning. Do you track when you're on holiday? Nope, I'm not tracking a single calorie today. I'm not tracking a single calorie tomorrow, or Sunday, or Monday, or Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm taking 6 days off tracking. I will next boot NutriCheck up on Thursday. I banked 1,000 calories this week. That's it. Normally by Thursday night, I would have banked 2,000, but my eating hasn't, my motivation, my determination, my consistency hasn't been quite on it this week. Obviously, we had bank holiday weekend, which Monday, I always have a few more calories on bank holiday. And I didn't want to change that, you know. I I did change it a little bit because normally on a bank holiday Monday, I'd probably go 300-400 over. And we can, because we kind of treat bank holiday Monday like Sunday. I didn't. I did stay under, but I only banked 50 calories, where the previous Monday, I banked 900 calories. So that's kind of where the swings come, if I'm being honest with you. The rest of the week's been all right. There's been a bit of convenience eating because we haven't wanted to do a shop and we're emptying the fridge out and stuff like that. But I got the scales this morning and I've lost 2.4 pounds. I was fully expecting, I said this yesterday on my live, I had no idea what the scale's going to do this morning. No idea what the scale's going to do. And in all honesty, because normally you can feel it. You can. Like, you kind of, you know, and I think we feel what the scale's going to do. And it doesn't mean it always works like this. But sometimes when we get on the, you know, we kind of know when you've been on it. And I know sometimes you can be absolutely on it, nail it for 2 weeks, get the scales, and you don't get a loss. It's quite rare that, but it can happen. Or you don't quite get the loss that you were hoping to get. Again, quite rare, but it can happen. But today, I genuinely didn't have a clue what the scales were going to do. I genuinely didn't have a clue what the scales were going to do. And, you know, yeah, it's I've had a 2.4 loss. I feel like I've cheated the scales a little bit, but your weight's your weight, you know. And it can happen like that. It can happen like that. So I've had a 2.4 loss, which if I include my Christmas bump, that's me at 40 pounds down for this year. Pretty much bang on 40 pounds down for this year. So chuffed. And do you know what? These 2 weeks I was actually planning on maintaining. I said that a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to maintain. I'm going to eat a bit more protein, up my calories a little bit. In the end, last Monday, Tuesday, I was like, I don't want to. I'm really used to eating the way I eat, and I didn't want to, so I just cracked on as normal. And this week hasn't been. I've been in a calorie deficit, but I don't feel. I've eaten more convenience foods, a few more carbs, a bit more sugar. We had a McDonald's last night. This was my McDonald's order last night. We went and did my mum's shop in Asda, and the Asda at Preston Forward has a McDonald's in it. So let's get a Mackey's for tea. Again, convenience eating. So I had half a chicken Big Mac, half a double cheeseburger. So Rachel did half chicken Big Mac, half double cheeseburger. We had one medium fries between us, but I ate 2/3. Rachel ate a third. We got some chili cheese bites. We had 2 each. And then we got 9 nuggets. Rachel only had 1. I had 4, and the dogs had the other 4. That was my McDonald's order. It was 1,000 calories. And then last night in bed, I had a bag of Wotsits and 4 Rolos. That was my healthy eating for last night. I had eaten quite a bit of fruit throughout the day. Again, emptying the fridge. My breakfast yesterday morning was sensational. It sounds weird. It's a bit of a Yorkshire thing. I don't know if anyone's ever had this. My dad's, well, my mum and my dad's parents are Yorkshire. So I'm second generation Lancastrian. So I'm second generation Lancashire. My mum and dad are first generation Lancashire. And then the rest of the family, like my grandparents, my great grandparents, are all Leeds, Bradford, Barnsley. And it's a very Yorkshire thing, apple pie and having cheese with it. Right? Don't knock it till you've tried it. It's absolutely amazing. So I kind of had that yesterday. My breakfast yesterday was 2, like mini cheeses, the 20 gram like mini portions of cheese, mature cheddar, 2 of them, 2 pink lady apples. That was my breakfast yesterday. I basically had a bite of apple with a little bite of cheese. Try it. Absolutely amazing. Bite of apple, little nib of cheese, eat it together. Thank me later. Just on the treadmill, getting steps in whilst I watch. Brilliant, Bex. Arrive early at the airport. T1 drop-off has moved and it's causing tailbacks. Is that in terms of cars? Yeah, it is. They're literally... So I don't know if anyone flies from Manchester Airport. They are shutting T1. Well, T1 and T2 are merging. I think it's meant to happen at the end of this year. So you will just use T2 entrance. I don't know that's happening. We are flying from T1, so I have no idea what's going on. Also, it's a Friday, so we actually don't fly till 7:10. We're leaving the house at 12:30. We're an hour. We live an hour away from Manchester Airport. I can do it slightly earlier than that with good traffic. It might be longer than that with bad traffic. And it's a bloody Friday, isn't it? Anyway, we're leaving at 12:30. We're going to get to Rachel's mum. Rachel's mum lives in Tilsley for 1:15. That's the plan. This is the regimented plan. We're going to drop the dog off. We'll have 10 minutes with Rachel's mum dropping the dog off. Then we're going to go to the Trafford Centre. So the aim is to get to the Trafford Centre for about 1:45. We're going to have a bit of birthday shopping because it's my birthday in a couple of days. So Rachel's got my little birthday pot. So we're going to go have a little bit of a shop around the Trafford Centre. Then we're going to get some food in the Trafford Centre. Then we're going to move to Manchester Airport. So I think we're going to aim to leave the Trafford Centre at 4. And then, so hopefully get to Manchester Airport for 4:30. And we don't fly till 7:10. So, yeah, that's loads of time. Normally for the airport, I'm an hour and a half, me. Hour and a half before, walk in, drop my bag off, walk through, have a pint, get on the plane. That's what I like to do. But, yeah, we are going to go a little bit earlier today. And why not? We're going to start the holiday in the airport. We're going to have a couple of beers. Why not? Probably while we're doing some check-ins. But anyway, there we go. Emily, good morning. Brilliant check-in for Emily. I've done quite a few check-ins this morning already. Casby, that's fab. Thank you very much. You're looking really slim, Neil Mumbear. That's very kind of you to say. Snapping a loss, £2.4 here too. Snap. Like that. £2.4 loss, sisters. That could be a sister if you want it to be. Not a problem at all. Let me say a quick load to YouTube. Kevin, good morning, mate. You've had a great check-in again this morning. Emma Ray, morning, Neil. I hope you and Rex have a lovely holiday. Thank you, Emma. Mr. Dodds is in on YouTube. Good morning. Christian's in. Morning, mate. Got my plan through. Looking forward to getting going. Yes. Christian starts on Monday. The summer deals has ended. The summer deals has ended. The countdown clock for the summer deals actually ended at midnight last night. And someone got in. And I'd never advertised this anywhere, so I don't know I don't know if they just risked it for a chocolate biscuit or just signed up anyway, because I have left the codes on the website. I need to delete those, actually. And someone's got in and signed up for a year last night at 9 o'clock, so they got the cheeky 260 quid for a year deal in before it ended. But yes, Christian is in, started on Monday. Say good morning. I'm off to Butlins Monday to Friday. No tracking for me. Week off. I have booked my surgery for March the 26 weeks. That's great. Stay 6 months is a really, it gives you time to prep and get ready for it. Superb. Planning on having a few drinks tonight with my boyfriend and a mate just in the house, but planning on sticking to a few spirit drinks with diet pot. I'm going to keep my food tight all day today, being as healthy as possible, just so that I can enjoy food tonight. So, can you drink alcohol and lose weight? Yes. Since I'm not promoting alcohol, I'm not promoting drinking. Please do it responsibly if you're going to do it. All that, yada, yada, yada. But since my last check-in, so I checked in 2 weeks ago, which was the 15th of February. That definitely wasn't 2 weeks ago, the 15th of August. Where February pops into my head, I have no idea. You know what you get in here. It's a labyrinth of craziness. Anyway, 15th of August. On the 16th of August, we went out with some friends. We went out and we started at 4:30 and we finished at about 10 o'clock. We had a few drinks. We went out for a nice Mexican. The following day was Sunday. Okay. Don't get involved in my head. Saturday after Sunday, Neil. How random. Anyway, a little bit of a hangover day. I did push the calories a little bit, and I ended up 1,500 over my ideal deficit that week, right? Around about that, right? And then back at it Monday. Had a pretty decent Monday to Friday, if I'm being honest. And then this weekend was bank holiday. So I had quite a bit. What I'm trying to say is I had alcohol that weekend. And then on Sunday, I had 3 beers. I had 2 pints of Moretti in the pub and I had a pint of Peretti. Well, I had a 660ml bottle of Peretti when I got back from the pub watching the rest of the football. And I've lost 2.4 pounds this week. Now, my calorie deficit, I know puts me in a 3 to 4 pound loss every 2 weeks, something hovering around that. That's the fat loss for the deficit, right? Normally. Now, obviously, 1 week I was 1,500 over. Last week, I can't remember. I think it was about 600 under. So, in terms of that puts me around about, I would say, a 3 pound loss. This week, obviously, I'm still in a calorie deficit, but I have eaten more convenience foods, a bit more sugar, a bit more refined carbs. That will have caused a little bit of extra water retention. So I'd say my volume's down a little bit. So the fact I've lost 2.4 pounds this week is about bang on. And I've drunk alcohol. Have I drunk alcohol to an excess? No. Right? Have I drunk it within a calorie deficit? Yes. Right? Have my eating habits changed so I'm out of a calorie? No. Right? The week we went out to Polton and had a good few drinks and a meal, yeah, that wasn't, I was in a calorie deficit, but just a smaller one. Last week I was in a calorie deficit, a slightly bigger one than I said. So you can do it. Was I drunk either of the times drunk alcohol? No. Right? Bit tipsy on the Saturday we went out. Last week, 3 beers. I had 3 beers. I wouldn't have driven after it, but I certainly wasn't drunk and it didn't affect my eating. So, you can do it. If you're going out for a night out, or you're just going to have a couple of drinks at home just to relax because it's what you like to do. Again, I'm not here to judge, and I would never judge anyone for anything. I certainly wouldn't judge anyone who drinks alcohol because I drink alcohol myself, right? How can we tackle it so we can do it within calories? Well, a bit like Gemma said there, you can have your eye on the prize for the day. So let's say you normally have 400 or 500 calories for your breakfast, right? And then you normally have 600-700 calories for your dinner. And then you might have a mid-afternoon snack, something like that. You could shave a few calories off there. So let's say your calories for today is 2,000. Let's say you do 2,000 calories a day average, right? So you've banked some Monday to Thursday, and you can say, do you know what, I'm going to have higher calorie days Friday, Saturday. So whatever you've banked Monday to, this is how I do it. If I was going to have higher calorie days Friday, Saturday, I would still have my average calories Sunday, and I would just use my bank calories from Monday to Thursday, which might be a bit less than doing bank calories Monday to Friday. But I think trying to stick to below daily average on a Sunday for most people is going to be a little bit trickier. So if I was doing 2,000 calories a day, right, I'd probably go something like Monday to Thursday, somewhere between 1,600 and 1,700 a day. That's where I'd be hovering to try and bank at least 300 calories a day. I would then bank 1,200 calories for Saturday, Sunday. That means if you're on 2,000 calories a day, you can have 2,600 today, 2,600 tomorrow, right? And then have your daily average on Sunday. It's pretty decent, yeah? So if I've got, let's say, 2,600 today, and I'm going to have a few drinks, maybe a takeaway, that's fine. This is how I tackle it today. I would literally have up to this evening 1,000 calories max, right? And then I've got 1,000. Then I've got 1,600 left for the rest of the day, right? If we're going to get a takeaway, I'd probably look at maybe trying to have something that's a bit more calorie controlled. So something like if you're going to go to a kebab shop, right, you might get a chicken shish, like chicken skewers, bit of bread, salad, bit of sauce, and maybe get a portion of fries to share. You're going to be at around 800-900 calories, something like that. 600 for the chicken kebab, 300 calories for the fries, right? If you're going to go and get big 12-inch pizzas and some chicken dippers on the side and then some mozzarella sticks, you're going to be way over that. So you can make... And now, if I was just having a takeaway tonight and not drinking alcohol, I'd have whatever takeaway I wanted, right? But there's got to be a bit of compromise somewhere. So if you're going to have a takeaway, and you might not have a takeaway, you might be like, no, we've got a couple of Carlos pizzas from Aldi that are 700 each, and we're just going to have them and a few nibbles. Fine, as long as it fits in with your calories. And then in terms of alcohol, can you make better calorie choices for alcohol? 100% you can. So again, Gemma said there, sticking to a few spirit drinks with diet pop. A single vodka with Diet Coke is 50 calories, right? So a double's 100 calories. So instead of doing house measures, you're going to get a proper little measure. I have a couple in the house. Measure your 50 mil, right? With your Diet Coke, it's 100 calories. And you might have 4 of those. Maybe push it to 500 calories, right? So you can enjoy a couple of drinks, a bit of a takeaway. And so if you have 500 calories of vodka Diet Coke, and then you have an 800-900 calorie chicken shish kebab and a few fries, right? It's 1,400 calories. And then you've got maybe 200 calories left over for a few crisps and nibbles. And that's a nice night, right? With a bit of food freedom, yeah? And the amount you're drinking there shouldn't really affect your eating tomorrow, You could go for singles. You could have 5 singles, 250 calories. In terms of beer, you can make better options. What I would set with drinking alcohol when it comes to weight loss, don't set yourself drinks numbers. So rather than setting yourself, I'm going to have 1,000 calories worth of alcohol, set yourself drinks. I'm going to have 5 drinks, right? This really works when you go to a pub. So let's say you go to a pub with 2 mates. So you're going to do 6 rounds. So I'm going to have 6 drinks. And then, you can make better choices with everything, a more informed choice, because it's a round, right? So you might go for a pint of Madri, it's 210 calories. But for one of your drinks, you could choose a bottle of Corona that's 125 calories, right? When you have 6 bottles of Corona or 6 pints of Madri, you're having 6 drinks, but because you're having a bottle that's 330 ml and not 560 ml, you're having less volume. Less volumes means less calories. You're still having 6 drinks, right? Now, you might be like, well, it's your bottle's the same price as a pint. I might as well have the volume. You make decisions what you want to make. But if you want to make more informed choices, that's the way you can go. You could have 6 pints of Madri is over 1,200 calories. 6 double vodka Diet Cokes is 600 calories, half. All right. So you can make more informed choices, Again, I'm not promoting drinking alcohol. Do it responsibly. Can you go out and get smashed week in, week out, and have a successful weight loss journey? I think you're going to massively struggle. I think you're going to massively struggle because the calories you're going to consume. You're going to massively struggle because of the effects it'll have on motivation, because it drags you down, right? But a few drinks here and there, 100% you can, Definitely drinking to excess. Really can't be bothered with feeling ill, so a couple of nice drinks will do. Do you know what? I'm exactly the same nowadays. It might be my age because I'm nearly 45, but I hate having a hangover. Honestly, I hate having a hangover. I hate my motivation being affected the next day. I really, really do. Every now and then, I'm absolutely fine. If I have you're always going to have the odd all-day session, wedding, day out with the lads, things like that, right? I hate having a hangover. We've got a Benidorm fact. I will not have a hangover, one hangover. Watch me now. Wake up Sunday like that. But I won't, right? Doesn't mean I don't drink quite a bit. I do, but I pace myself. So like when we went to Polton a week last Saturday, I didn't have a hangover, right? On the Sunday. I knew I'd had a drink, but I didn't have, I wasn't like, oh, God, never drinking again or anything like that. In fact, I just knew I had a bit of a drink. I was up, I was about 7:30, motivated, took the dogs to the beach, had a nice walk, such and such, I was all right. I did have 10 drinks. I counted them up. I had 2 pints in my local pub, right? I had 4 pints and 3 pints and a cocktail when we got to Polton, and then I had a bottle of Corona and a cocktail when we went for tea, and then I had another 2 cocktails after tea. Now you might be like, 10 drinks. I'd be absolutely, blottoed. And I'm not trying to say I'm a big drinker. I'm not. But I had 2 beers in the pub over like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And then we got a taxi that was 20 minutes. So a little break there. When we went to the next bar, 3-4 beers over the space of 2 hours, right? So it's half an hour drink. So pacing myself. Then we went for tea, and food always slows down gastric emptying, right? So it does slow down how fast alcohol travels to your bloodstream. So that's it. And I had a nice portion of chicken fajitas and a few sweet potato fries. And again, we were in there for a couple of hours, probably, maybe an hour and a half. And again, I had 1 bottle of Corona and 1 margarita. We then went to a cocktail bar across the road and had a couple of cocktails. And there was more alcohol in my wee, I think, than the cocktails. I couldn't taste anything. I had a pina colada and then some of the cherry bomb thing. So, basically, over the space of 5.5 hours, I had 10 drinks. So 1 every half an hour with a good bit of food in between. For me, this is just for me personally. That's decent pacing for me. And that won't. Now, if I went to the pub at 8 o'clock at night and drunk that over 3 hours with no food involved, I would have had so same volume, but just spread out. And it'd be the same going away. Like tomorrow, first day of holiday, sun shining. There is a very good chance my first beer will be before 12 p.m. But while I'm on my sun lounger, I'll probably have 2 or 3 beers, right? That's it, over the space of from say 11:30 till about 2:30. So 1 an hour, right? And I'll probably have a lot of water and a few Diet Cokes in between. We're then going to go out and watch the United game for my sins, right? And I'll have a few drinks watching the United game. And then we'll go for food. So I'll eat a load. And then we'll probably go for a nice walk for half an hour up and down the seafront. And then we'll probably end up in the old town of Benidorm and go for a couple more drinks. So again, tomorrow, I might have 10, 12, 15 drinks. I don't know. But it will be over a space of from like 11, half 11 in the morning till 11, half 11 at night, over 12 hours. 1 hour with food in between and pacing. So that's what a lot of volume over a short period of time gives me an hangover. Yeah. When it comes to alcohol, it's not that normally makes me ill. It's normally the sheer volume of liquid that makes me ill. I tend not to get drunk very easily. I used to be, and again, I am not promoting alcohol here. I am not boasting about drinking. When I was 37 stone, 10 pints was my warm-up. You might be like, you don't know. I used to go to the pub Fridays. My mates used to finish work at like 4 o'clock, right? 4 or 5 o'clock, and people start drifting to the pub. Tea time, maybe a little bit of a poet's day, maybe half free. I had to finish work on a Friday at 12. So I finish at 12, straight home, get showered, get changed, phone my mate Keith that owned the pub. He'd come pick me up, take me to the pub. I'd be on my bar stool for 1 o'clock. I will have done 10 pints by people who were drifting in at tea time. That was my warm-up, right? Then I'd just drink leisurely with my mates as they would normally drink. Then we got the vodkas. I'd do a bottle of vodka. That was my Friday night. I would probably do 15, 20 pints and a bottle of vodka on a Friday. How my liver is still, and I did that week in, week out for a lot of years, right? Again, it makes me feel ill thinking about it now. And I do work, your body regenerates certain parts. So my liver's fine, and I've got a full clean bill of health. But yeah, when I was 37 stone, I could absolutely tank it away. I can't drink. Rachel says I can't drink. Sometimes if we're going out on a bit of a day sesh, I get back into my 37 stone mindset. I can't drink for toffee now. I have to pace myself. Good morning, Neil. How are you, Josh? I'm very good. Thank you very much, mate. Hope you're doing really, really well in your journey. Tara, good morning. Donna, good morning. I went spoons last night. James, he loves the spoons. There's our James. Matt, good morning. I passed the airport yesterday and they queued back out to the bypass. I would allow an extra 30 minutes on top. Cheers, John. Thanks for the heads up. Right, we might be leaving a little bit early then. I might leave the Trafford Centre at 3:45. Loads of time. That gives us 3 hours, 20 minutes to get from the Trafford Centre, get parked up. I always book meet and greet parking at the airport. Does anyone else book anything other than that? I just love meet and greet. And it's not like the multi-story at the car parks, the most. I don't book off site. I always book Manchester Airport meet and greet. Your car stays on. I know there's lots of horror stories of people go, oh, I don't want anyone else. You don't leave the airport. You can book meet and greet Manchester Airport for about 50 quid. And a third-party company, you pull up in a site, they take your car off and send you on a transport. And it is cheaper. I think I've paid, I don't know if this works with any other airport, but with Manchester Airport, I think the code is book again 10. Always works, knocks 10% off. So the meet and greet parking was 90 quid, 10% off, £81. And if you had any extras to the parking at Manchester Airport, so you had lounge. So we added we're going to Tenerife in October, and it was 90 quid for a week parking. And then it was £30 to book the lounge as a discount on top of it. So 150 quid, and then book again 10, you got 10% off. So it was 135 quid for a week's parking, meet and greet, and then entry to the lounge for 3 hours. And meet and greets is amazing. You pull up into a line. At Manchester Airport now, you pull up into a line, get your bags, you walk into the terminal, you put your thing in, put your key in a locker, done. And then when you get back, you walk out the terminal, you go into the meet and greet reception, scan your code, right? Lights up, get your key, walk to where they've parked your car, and off you pop. Absolutely, I love it. You book multi-story, you end up just, multi-story's like 15, 20 quid dearer. You end up just driving around trying to find a space for half. It's so stressful. Meet and greet. You want to save on meet and greet? They have a drop-off. It's called drop-off parking at Manchester Airport. It's next to Terminal 1. If you want to go Terminal 2, Terminal 3, you can get a shuttle. They do a shuttle every 10 minutes. It takes there. If you're at Terminal 1, you can just walk across. That's a bit cheaper. And that's similar to meet. Well, is it similar to meet and greet? It's similar to meet and greet, but it's not quite as specific. But anyway, book meet and greet. There you go. There's my airport parking tips for the day. Morning, Peter. Peter P's in. All Barnsley area. I'm a bit of Barnsley. Well, my dad's mum and dad at Bradford. My nan's Leeds. She used to own the pub on Ellen Road. My nan's she was born. My great granddad used to play for Leeds City before it was Leeds United, and they owned the pub on Ellen Road. Because everyone's like, why don't you support Leeds? Oh, well, I don't. I'm a red rose. I'm not a white rose. Though I have got white rose heritage. And then my grandpa, which is my mum's dad, he's Barnsley. He's Barnsley, yeah. Right. There we go. Right, I'm scanning up. I don't think I missed anything. If I have missed anything, does anyone else want any tips about holidays? Hello, Lynn, how is it? Oh, you good? Lynn SW3 is my one-to-one PT client. No, my one-to-one weight loss coaching client. And Lynn's currently in Benidorm in my hotel, and I will be there in about 12 hours. No, I won't. I'll be there. I think we get to the hotel for about if there's no delays or anything like that. I think we should get to the hotel for about midnight. So tomorrow, Saturday, that basically. Hope you're having a great time, and hope it's good. I'm really looking forward to it. I've never stayed in this hotel before, so because we're only going for 3 or 4 days. Well, we're going for 5 nights, really, but 4 full days. I always like experimenting with different hotels when you're going for a short period of time. Because if it's not your favourite hotel, you're only going for a few days, aren't you? Red meat's good for you. Nothing's good for you. Nothing's bad for you. In an individual sense, right? And I mean that. If I go in the house now and eat a carrot's got a lot of nutritional value, but the nutritional value of that carrot doesn't instantly make it good for me, right? Likewise, if I go in the house now and eat a Mars bars don't have any nutritional value, right? And they're also quite calorie dense. But eating that Mars bar doesn't automatically make me unhealthy. So we should never look at things like, are these good for you? Are these bad for you? What you should look at is overall diet and overall consumption. So red meat is neither good or bad for you. And like anything, if you overconsume anything, it is bad for you, right? If you underconsume anything, it's not going to give you any health benefits. So you could have the odd healthy food. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, it won't do if the rest of what you're eating is full of, foods that would be unhealthy for you if overconsumed. What we need to understand about red meat is there are some great nutritional values in red meat. Lots of iron, lots of, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin K, lots of other minerals, magnesium, calcium. There's lots of goodness in red meat. Protein, obviously, as well as a macronutrient, not just a micronutrient. But what we also need to be aware of, quite a lot of red meat is high in saturated fat. We can eat saturated fat. It's absolutely fine. It's not going to do you any harm unless you overconsume it. But what we need to understand is certain foods are easier to overconsume than others. So sugar isn't bad for us, right? Sugar is only bad for us if we overconsume it. But it's a lot easier to overconsume sugar than it is broccoli, for instance, right? Now, if we overconsume broccoli, it's bad for us, right? If we overconsume water, it's bad for us. So we have what's called the threshold of harm, right? And it's what level we need to get to before something then can become detrimental to our health. And then something will only become detrimental to our health if we do it over time. And sometimes that time can be years and years and years and years and years. So, we can look at RDAs, recommended daily allowances. And for total sugars, it's 90 grams a day. And that does include lactose. It does include fructose. It does include sucrose, which is like your processed sugar. Now, some people will argue this differently. I really like the fitness chef, Graham Tomlinson, I think his name is. I don't know if you watch him. His content's really, really good. And he does normalize eating and doesn't demonize foods. But yeah, he actually did a post the other day that I disagreed with, and he basically did something like, this is 200 grams of sugar. This is 200 grams of sugar. And he showed 200 grams of sugar using things like fruits and veggies and stuff like that. And then 200 grams of sugar using like donuts. And in the comments, there was a lot of comments saying sugar is sugar. And he was agreeing with them. He was like, yeah, sugar is sugar, whether you're having lactose or whether you're having fructose, sugar is sugar. And I personally, well, it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't work like that. And people can argue sugar is sugar, but, lactose is low glycemic. They all have different values on the glycemic level. They all are attached to different foods with different nutritional values. So you could simplify and go sugar is sugar, right? But it isn't as simple as that. And we shouldn't try, because if you just say sugar is sugar, people will be like, well, I might as well eating a donut's the same as eating an apple. Well, it really isn't. And I know he wasn't trying to say that in his thing, but he wasn't either trying to justify it in his comments either, which I found a bit strange. But he might have had his reasons for it. And like I say, his content's normally amazing. But he was going, yeah, sugar is sugar, sugar is sugar. And I'm like, no, but what you're doing there is people will be like, well, if I'm going to have 200 grams of sugar, I could eat like that or I could eat like that. Whereas, an apple might have, the same amount of sugar in it as a couple of biscuits. But the apple is mid-glycemic. It's not high glycemic. High glycemic can spike blood sugars, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with spiking blood sugars if they come down correctly. But sometimes if we spike blood sugars without any other macronutrients present, we can get sugar crashes. That can increase hunger. Biscuits digest quickly, and that's more to do with the actual food rather than the actual sugar profile of it, but can increase hunger. The high glycemic, so if you're diabetic, you need to watch those a little bit. Sucrose does break down a lot faster and differently than fructose. Fructose breaks down in the liver. Now, on the other hand, I would say fructose, I would never look at, and also with fructose and lactose, it's very rare people overconsume it. Whereas what we might call processed sugars, people very commonly overconsume it. So to say sugar is sugar, I think personally is wrong. There is an argument to say sugar is sugar, but I think, and I get loads of people, like I'll put a protein shake on, a pre-made protein shake from Aldi, and it quite clearly says no added sugar. And people go, well, the only problem with that is it's full of sugar. Nothing in a supermarket is full of sugar other than a bag of Tate and Lyle, right? And if you want to be pedantic about it, I am pedantic about it. I do call people out depending on how they. Now, if someone says, "Is that not just full of sugar?" Right? If they ask the question, question it, does it not have a lot of sugar in it though? I'll explain it to them. But when people come on and blatantly do, well, it's full of sugar. Don't eat that. It's a sugar bomb. It's just you're just poisoning your body. I'm like, let's do the maths, right? It's a 330 ml drink, which is 330 grams, and it's got 16 grams of sugar in it, right? So that basically means 5% of that intake. If we break it down into layers of what's in there, right? Sugar's 5%. So anything that contains 5%, right, isn't full, is it? It's 5%. It's a minuscule amount. Now, that doesn't mean 16 grams of sugar compared to, it's got 20 grams of protein in it, right? 20 grams of protein is it's a 330 ml drink, right? So 20 grams of protein is 18%, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people go, well, there's nearly as much sugar in it as protein. I'm like, yeah, but it's different values, right? You've got to look at them slightly differently. But still, we can break it down and go, yeah, 18% of that drink is protein, right? But lactose is low glycemic, right? So there's no issues with it causing extra hunger, causing blood sugar crashes. Likewise, I had someone the other day saying they were type 1 diabetic and they use fructose to if they're having a hypo. I'm like, each their own, but really, I think they were just doing it to get a rise or get a comment. You get loads of people that do that on social media. And I'm like, look, if you're type 1 diabetic and you're having a hypo, you need to get your blood sugars up. Like, that's serious, right? I'm a non-diabetic hypoglycemic, and I would never use fructose to get my blood sugars up, right? Don't get me wrong, you can get carb-loaded fructose, like a glass of fresh orange juice, and that would get your blood sugars up. But which I'd be happy with as a non-diabetic hypoglycemic. But if I'm type 1, right, and your blood sugars can actually plummet extremely quickly without you knowing, to the point where you can slip into diabetic comas, right? And that might sound a bit extreme, but it can happen in minutes at times. you know, I'd be like, can of Coke, Mars bar, forget the nutritional value. Let's just get something that's really going to get my blood sugars up. Anyway, that's by the by. Yeah. So, and again, linking all sugars together, people rare, and I would say that when they go pre-made product, I was like, no, it's got 16 grams of sugar in it. The sugar's lactose. It's a naturally occurring sugar in dairy. Yes, it should be considered as a sugar, but it's broken down differently in the body than it. And the big difference is with lactose is we very rarely overconsume it. We very rarely overconsume it, right? Whereas processed sugar, we do overconsume a lot, right? And again, for it to be detrimental to health, we've got to overconsume it over long periods of time. Yeah. Plus attached to that lactose is calcium, magnesium, potassium, vitamin A, right? Vitamin C, right? There's also 20 grams of protein in there as well. And you do have to offset things. So you might go, well, this has got, it's kind of like a bit of a yin and a yang. If 95% of this product has health benefits if consumed on a regular basis, 5% of this product is detrimental to our health on it. It's a great product. Does that make sense? Will you have any more offers with joining Neil this year? Yes. Black Friday. All right. Black Friday is Black Friday, isn't it? Okay. So I tend to put offers on with my one-to-one coaching when I have quieter periods. September, October is generally a pretty decent period for signing people up. When you get to November and you're getting like the 6 weeks left of the year, it tends to quieten off a little bit. That coincides with Black Friday. So yeah, the next time I do offers will probably be Black Friday. Okay. Now, if you're a regular and you watch a good bit of my content, you will see the odd discount code getting bandied about. Read the description on any of my YouTube videos. This is just my monthly plan. All right. It's not quite as good as the offer, but it's not bad. Right. So I'll always do people, regular followers and this, that, and the other. I'll always, you follow me, just a like and a comment helps push my content out there. So I'll always try and give a little bit back, and really the sign up fee to my plan, certainly to my monthly plan, it is a nominal fee that just covers, there's a lot of value in my plan that I write to you, that I send you, and my ebook, right? Something I've developed over a long period of time. And although it doesn't take me hours and hours and hours to write your plan up, you've got hours and hours of experience and success in that plan. That's where the value, and it is a nominal fee, because I could, in all honesty, and you are entered into a contract when you sign up to my one-to-one plan, and I will, if people don't pay, it gets passed over to me. I'm running a business here, and if people don't pay, it gets passed up to my accountant. My accountant does pass it on to a third-party company, and you'll get a letter, and there'll be extra fees on top. I'm sorry if people think that's bad of me, but at the end of the day, you don't go to Tesco and then walk out and say, yeah, my £100 shopping, I'm just going to pay 70 of it now. I'll pay the other 30 next month, right? And then you never pay it. Tesco aren't going to go, oh, it's all right, don't worry about that. It's fine. I'm a business at the end of the day, and I don't charge a lot. So it's even more important to me that I get paid. So, but, do I get people that decide to just get my plan and then cancel after? Yeah, I don't get very many, but I do. Then I've got to put effort in to chase them and message them and this, that, and the other. And, and at the end of the day, I had someone a couple of months ago and they were like, and they were like, they paid for 1 month and they cancelled, right? So they owe me 2 months because it's a minimum 3 months commitment to sign up. And they were like, well, I've not checked in. I was like, that's not my problem. I'm like, I send check-in reminders. I'm always constantly chatting to you guys. I'm here every day. I do Fri-Weigh. I'm never out of your inbox on your WhatsApp. And I don't mean that as in you hassle by me, but I use broadcast messages. So don't use that excuse. Like, just because you've not decided to do so. It's like me going to Tesco. Again, right, I go to Tesco and I buy a pack of apples, right? And in 2 weeks' time, they're in the back of my fridge and I've not eaten them and they've gone off. So I take them back to Tesco. Can I have a refund on these? Why? I decided not to eat them. Tesco would go, oh, did you not? Oh, well, let me give you the money back for the produce that you bought and wasted because you didn't decide to eat them. That's going to affect my business model. Do you see what I mean? It's not fair. So the fee kind of, is there's a lot of value in that plan. So, that's it. No one will go to work for free. So I don't know why people expect the same from self. Exactly. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, he runs his own business. Everyone thinks everyone runs their own business is minted. I charge £30 a month, right? If I charged £100 a month and I work with 150 people, yeah. Right? I charge £30 a month. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pleading poverty. Like, I do all right. And I do all right. I'm not trying to say that. But yeah, I've got a bed for 4 days. I don't get paid. Right? Rachel's loving it now. She's employed. She's like booked her annual leave in. She's laid on a sun lounger. Right? Her wage is exactly the same, month in, month out, whatever way. She takes a few days off. I don't get paid. If I'm sick, I don't get paid. Right? So, it's it is what it is. And again, I'm not pleading poverty or anything like that. I'm not trying to, but yeah, and I said that to that person. I literally said that to that person because they were like, well, I'm not paying it. And I was like, I've not used yours. And I was like, that's not my fault, right? I'm here for you all the time, right? That's not my fault. And I just literally said, are you happy to go to work and not get paid? Like, because that's what you're asking me to do, because I'm still here. And why I can charge what I charge is because you will split a lot of the cost between you, if that makes sense. Right? You will split a lot of the cost between you. Things like the lives and stuff like that, where everyone gets involved in the Zoom session. So when you do the one-to-one plan, all your check-ins are individual. They're all private. They're all done from me. But so I kind of like an element of it goes towards the one-to-one check, and the element is you split the cost between you. So and it's kind of like, if you book a minibus to go to the airport because you're on a hen do or a stag do, and it's 300 quid. There's 16 of you getting on the minibus, it's 320 quid, so it's £20 each. 2 people don't turn up. That bus driver doesn't go, oh, well, I'll just knock you for, it's 280 instead of thingy. He's like, no, it's 320 quid. So what happens is the rest of you pick the slack up, don't you? It's like, right, it's £23 each now instead of £20. Yeah, it's fine, right? I can't do that. Oh, by the way, guys, such and such decided not to pay me this month, so I'm just gonna add 50p to everyone's direct debit for this month to cover, Josie decided not to pay me. I've never had a client called Josie, by the way, before. Someone goes, oh, he's named and shamed him. Does that kind of make sense? So anyway, I earn money from the monthly subscription. The sign-up fee is just a nominal offer to give me a little bit of value for the effort I've put into for creating the plan I've created, is what I'm trying to say. But while it's busy, I charge $29.99 for that plan, which isn't expensive. That's the sign-up fee and the ebook. And when it's a little bit less quiet, I do you a bit of a deal to drive people into coming onto the subscription model, because that is where my wages are. Does that kind of make sense? I don't mind talking about my business. I'm more than happy to. And because I do get other people watching me that want to become online or work in the online sector like I do. And I don't mind, I've paid up front, so I'm paying you while you're on your sunbed. Mr. John Jackson, you are absolutely bang on. To be fair, I do have about 40 clients that pay me yearly, right? So I've got about 110 that pay monthly, and then I've got about 40 clients that do pay me yearly. So technically you are, but technically, although I'm laid on my sunbed, I never have a break from checking. The only time I actually technically get paid for not working, is Christmas week and New Year week, because I don't do check-ins. That's the only time I don't do check-ins. I'm doing check-ins today, and I'll do check-ins next week. But enjoy my hour free on Summit. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. And you know what? To be honest with you, I appreciate all of you. I'm not calling anyone. I never will do. And I'm always very reasonable. I do get some people that message me and go, look, I'm having to come off plan because finances generally are tight. I know I've only paid 2 months. Can I pay the other month over? Like, can I split it 15 for 2? It's like, of course you can. I appreciate that at the end of the day. And and I'll say to him, look, when you come back on plan, there'll be no sign-up fee as long as you sign up within 12. I always try and give a bit back. You know that? Anyway, There we go. Right, I've got to go. I've got to go. Now you know my total business. You all know my business model anyway. I'm as open as I can be. You have to go. It's 9:30. Have a great holiday. Cheers, John. I do. Don't get me wrong. We're not leaving. The plan is to leave at, I think, 12:30, 1:45. But I've got a lot to do over the next few hours. Guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you all. You know that. And obviously, I couldn't do these free lives unless I have my subscribers. But even if you don't subscribe to the community or to the plan, even if you just pop by and listen to me on my live, stuff like that, you're still pushing me out a little bit on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube. So I do. I appreciate you all. I'm coming off my MJ soon, so I will be coming on board. Mama Bear, not a problem at all. I am literally sorting out plans like things for so many people that are coming off MJ. I know the government have just, and this was always going to happen, I think, that the prices are going to be, they're nowhere going to go up to what people, apparently, the 50 milligrams is going to go to 330. I think the government are capping it, so it's going to be 240. It's still going to go up. It's still going to up. It's still going to cost you a bit more money, but I don't think the prices are going to rocket anywhere near. So I think that the sort of mild panic that happened will calm down a little bit. And I suppose they've had to do that because people were thinking of coming off it. But if you have made the decision to come off it, even if the prices aren't going to quite high, let's bring you off it. Let's bring you off it. And certainly if you've hit target, let's bring you off it. We can sort that out for you. Not a problem at all. Right, guys, I'm out of here. I will crack on with check-ins, so on and so forth. My next live will be Thursday. So I'll be back Thursday. I don't do live Saturday, Sunday anyway. So you're only missing me for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I know sometimes I say I'll jump on and do a live. I'm not going to. Watch me now jump on and do a live. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to switch off and have a few days because we're only there for like 4 full days. So, but if I'm a little bit bored at any point, Lynn's like that. I'll be doing a live by the pool, and Lynn will be watching it the other side of the pool on a phone like that, probably. Anyway, there we go. Guys, have a great weekend. Just because I'm not about doesn't mean weight loss needs to stop. And I will see you next Thursday. TikTok, I'll sign off to you first. Oh, I need to swipe. How do I swipe? That's it. And then Facebook, YouTube, I'll sign off to you second. I'll see you on Thursday morning.